Testimony yesterday, they really don't have a choice. Tonight, most on the left are conceding, yes, it was a total disaster for their cause. How is Nancy Pelosi reacting tonight? And what does Donald Trump Jr. think of what happened yesterday? Both of them respond exclusively right here in just a moment. But first tonight, the Russia hoax ended yesterday, we can say that. It ended not with a bang, but with the muddled half-memories of a fading old man slipping in and out of focus. America sat transfixed by Robert Mueller's halting testimony before Congress. No honest person could have come away at the end believing that the President of the United States colluded with the Russian government to steal an election. That was the allegation, you'll remember. And then after the most extensive investigation in modern American history, we found the truth. And so tonight we can say conclusively, once again, what we told you the day this all started. The whole thing is a crock. It never happened. They were lying to you. That's clear now. The debate is over. But that doesn't mean the Russia story has quite ended. There are loose ends. For 2.5 years, some of the most powerful people in America, supposedly serious, well-educated people, very smart people, these people made wild and untrue and totally reckless allegations about issues critical to the life of this country, all on the basis of no evidence whatsoever. It's hard to believe they did that, but they did do it. What should happen to these people now? Congressman Adam Schiff, for example. Schiff claimed he possessed actual evidence of Russian collusion. And he didn't just say that one time. He said it repeatedly.
And there is significant evidence of collusion. There is ample evidence, and indeed there is, of collusion of people in the Trump campaign with the Russians. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy.
Well, in the end, you know what happened or didn't. Schiff did not produce the evidence. He didn't have it because it doesn't exist. Schiff was bluffing, which is to say, lying. But what about his enablers? And there are a lot of them, the journalists, the pundits, the fellow lawmakers who helped Adam Schiff tell his lies. These are the people, you remember, who blithely accused the sitting president of the United States of treason.
The evidence suggests, indeed, Trump has been a pawn of the Russians.
But when you start to see a pattern where he basically spouts Putin's lies, then we have to ask the most unusual and frightening question about our own president.
Why this president seems to be putting Russia's interests ahead of our own.
Well, Christy, the president's tweet trying to make the case that he's not a Russian asset really just undercuts his own defense. The president's tweet couldn't have been scripted better if it was written by Putin himself.
This is nothing short of treasonous because it is a betrayal of the nation. He is giving aid and comfort to the enemy.
And is there influence, whether witting or unwitting, by the Russians over President Trump?
The possibility, the very real possibility, that President Putin holds damaging information over President Trump.
Trump's eagerness to sell out America proves the Russians must have something, personally, politically, or financially, on President Trump.
It proves that Trump is committing treason. Think about what you just saw. The last person in that montage was Nancy Pelosi. As you know, she's the Speaker of the House, third in line from the presidency. She's the country's most powerful lawmaker, supposedly a wise and sober person. And yet there she was telling you it's been proved that the President of the United States is working for a hostile foreign power. Has any speaker in American history ever said something that irresponsible? Robert Mueller's report and his testimony yesterday before the Congress dealt a lot with America's so-called intelligence community, our various intel agencies. So how are those agencies reacting to yesterday's hearing with Robert Mueller? Fox Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge has that story for us tonight. She joins us now. Hey, Catherine.
Thanks, Tucker. After the testimony, my contacts reported that they were beyond disappointed to hear directly from Robert Mueller that his team did not investigate the Steele dossier and whether it was part of the Russian playbook in 2016. They say the key question is whether the Russian intelligence operation targeted the dossier's author, former British spy Christopher Steele. Privately, former intelligence officers have told me the Russian campaign was likely designed to damage both candidates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, because Moscow's ultimate objective was to tarnish the eventual winner and the office of the presidency. According to this Justice Department memo, Mueller's job was to investigate Russian election interference and related matters, but he testified that the dossier predated his appointment. That's technically true, but the National Security Court extended the surveillance warrant for Carter Page based on the Steele dossier through the summer of 2017, overlapping with Mueller. This exchange from yesterday has not had nearly enough play, and it goes to the heart of the issue.
President Trump had what can only be described as a triumphant reaction yesterday after Robert Mueller's testimony. Here's part of it.
Their party is in shambles right now. They've got the squad leading their party. They are a mess. This was a devastating day for the Democrats. The Democrats thought they could win an election like this. I think they hurt themselves very badly for 2020.
Well, the mood was widely shared. On Twitter, Donald Trump Jr. called the hearing a great win, quote, and asked this, serious question, has Mueller even heard of Mueller? Don Trump Jr. joins us for his first interview since the hearing yesterday. Don, thanks a lot for coming on. So
it is.
What was your reaction? What was, I mean, I think that tweet sums it up pretty well, but elaborate on what you thought of it.
Well, listen, I really think it does. It speaks for itself. I mean, I'm watching a guy that led an investigation, was the head of the FBI, was a former prosecutor, spent 2 years and almost $50 million investigating it. And I see a congressman ask, let's talk about Fusion GPS. I've never heard of it. I mean, that'd be like a builder talking about not understanding what a foundation is. To not even have a finite understanding of how this all started tells the American public everything they need to know, Tucker. This was a hoax set up by the Democrats from moment number one. It wasn't true. This investigation wasn't about trying to figure out what happened. It was trying to back into the result that they wanted. They couldn't do that because there was nothing there. But they drug people through the mud for 2 years.
Another week, another hate hoax. That apparently is what's going on with Erica Thomas. She's the Georgia Democrat, the lawmaker, you remember, who rallied the national media to her side last week when she posted a Facebook video and claimed to be the victim of a malicious, hateful attack by a white man at a grocery store. Watch.
For that white man to come up to me and call me a son of a and lazy and go back where I came from because he had a couple items and he wanted to get in front of me. And he said I had 20 items in a 10-item line. What would make you that angry?
So she's sobbing, therefore it must be true. Well, actually, it looks like almost nothing she said is true. The story almost instantly fell apart. Police footage reveals that, according to an employee, Thomas was the one who said, go back to where you came from.
I heard him call her ignorant, and then she said, if you're not happy, you can leave the store. And then he called her ignorant again, and then she said, you can go back to where you came from, and was pointing him out the door.
And that's what he said to her?
No, she said that to him. You can go back to where you came from, to him.
Amazing. Now, surveillance tape from the supermarket further undermines her story. The footage has no sound, but it makes it clear that the fight was just a verbal altercation, and Thomas did not seem to be in fear for her safety. The state's worst electoral mistake, that honor goes, it's really not even contested, to a freshman member of Congress named Ilhan Omar. In a recently discovered interview with Al Jazeera, Omar said that if America cared about keeping its citizens safe, we'd stop worrying about Islamic terrorism, which is really no problem at all, and instead profile white men. Watch.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
So not only is that obviously bigoted, it's also stupid. It's untrue. FBI statistics prove that it's actually not factually accurate what she just said. But in any case, our real fear shouldn't be ISIS or white men. We should be most afraid maybe of clueless lawmakers like Ilhan Omar. Tammy Bruce is president of Independent Women's Voice and hosts Get Tammy Bruce on Fox Nation, which you should watch every episode of, and she joins us tonight.
Thank you, sir.
So Tammy, it's just interesting that a lawmaker can get up and attack an entire racial group, and it's like, it's no problem. No one notices.
Yeah, there was even an attempt, and that was from last year, which is interesting because she now has an opinion piece out calling Donald Trump a racist, when she had called for, while she was a state representative, for racial and gender profiling by federal law enforcement.